Well, I've brought my partner in crime, Alyssa, back on the Grow channel here because we decided that it was time to release another controversial video. 2 years ago, Alyssa and I made a video that I thought was pretty innocuous. And I've gotten more comments about that video than most of the videos that I've posted on the Grow channel, which is like approaching 400 now. And in that video, I interviewed Alyssa about her contracts at Musicians Playground in Boston, the massive school that she owns and has grown over the last 10 years. They have some pretty crazy contract rules and they really lock their students in at the school. Well, we have another hot take today because I have to tell you, Alyssa, when you suggest this to me, I was like, yes, sign me up because I am very passionate about the topic we're going to talk about today, which is summer camps. Which should we just go for it? Should we just say our opinion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On three. 1, 2, 3. Summer camps are a bad idea. Look, I've been coaching for a long, long time in the music school space. Alyssa, you've been coaching for many years now, and have coached clients for Grow and on your own. The clients that you've coached for Grow have done insanely well. We're going to do a case study on one here in the month of April on a client that has been working with Alyssa for a while now. Anyway, long story short, every year in the springtime, we get a rush of people in March and April being like, oh my word, summer is coming and I'm not going to make much money. I need to run a summer camp. And to you, we say, do not run a summer camp. Alyssa, any thoughts?
I could not agree more to that advice. Do not run a summer camp if you're just thinking of that right now in March or April.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the hot take. Now, in the video, no, we're not going to in the video. The last hot take we did, I think that was about a half hour long. I think we can keep this pretty short. We do not believe in dragging things out around here. We're going to get right to the point. I have 3 reasons why you should not be running a summer camp, irrespective of the size of your business. If you have 25 students in your studio, cool. If you've got 500, the advice is the same because we actually have, I've got clients that come to me of all sizes. I'm sure you do too, Alyssa. All sizes that basically their big plan for the summer is, oh, I'm going to run a summer camp. Yes, let's do this. Okay, so why? Here's the first one. Let's have a little chat about it. Reason number 1, you should not run a summer camp if you are just now thinking about it, or if you think it is a way to, quote, save your summer. Number 1, camps are not a quick fix, okay? I'm just going to go on the record as saying you need to assume you're going to need at least 3 years to build a camp that will provide enough revenue to you that it will actually make a difference, and maybe up to 5. That was actually the experience of Greg and I when we started running a summer camp many years ago. Is because camps are not a quick fix. It is not something you can whip together at the last minute and expect to have significant revenue from. Mm-hmm. I can get into more reasons, but Alyssa, I've talked enough in this video already. It's your turn.
No, honestly, it's interesting because a lot of times I do have clients that will come to me and talk about your summer camp that you and Greg, or Greg had run rather, and the success that he has had. And I think it's easy for us to assume that, summer camp, like it's just going to succeed, right? But actually summer camp in and of itself is like a small business. It's a different business than our core business. So unless we've got all of our cylinders firing for our core business correctly, we can assume that we're going to have just as much success, if not a lot less even with summer camps, right?
Yeah.
And I already am working with, and I know you probably have your hands full with clients that are already stretched to their limits, have no time as it is to devote to hardly anything else. And then they're thinking, oh, summer camp is going to be the answer. But actually, when we think about that being the answer, we're signing up for, double the trouble with the business that we're running and trying to grow. So I couldn't agree with you more, Daniel, in that it is not a quick fix. And it is very much like starting a new business from scratch in certain ways.
Yes. And I will just say part of the reason I was so motivated to make this video with you is that for you and I both, we have the most number of coaching/consulting or mastermind clients that either one of us have ever had. And it really just hit me this year. Because so many people came to me over the last couple months talking about their summer camp plans. Daniel helped me market my summer camp, like this sort of thing. And I was having the same conversation over and over and over again. And I was having to answer the same questions over and over again. And then the same problems were happening over and over again. And then I was helping them solve those problems. And so it's kind of been a little bit like Groundhog Day. I feel like I'm living the same day every day, but yes, just understand reason number one is that this is not a last minute quick fix that is just going to magically work. There is a lot that goes into that. And I have talked ad nauseum on the 7FMS podcast about, the camp that Greg and I built. We have talked ad nauseum about Brooklyn Music Factory's massive summer camp that does up to $750,000 a year. Just their summer camp is like up to $750,000 a year, depending on the year over the last decade, or even the last 5 years. And what went into that, we go into more in those episodes. So we're not here to kind of talk about that because, again, the topic of the episode is don't do a summer camp. So I'm not going to get into talk about how to do it because I don't want you to be tempted. Should we go to reason number 2, Alyssa?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Reason number 2 is kind of a corollary to point number 1, is that even if camp was a quick fix, you cannot start thinking about it in March or April. Mm-hmm. Now, it might sound like I'm just repeating the previous point, but the point I do want to make is that the seeds of a successful summer camp are planted actually in the previous fall. Mm-hmm. You're planning for the summer camp in the upcoming year when Greg and I, even when we were in our early 20s, not exactly the most responsible or business savvy people. We often started planning and booking things and getting the marketing going for the summer camp in September or October of the previous year. So we got through the quote fall rush of our studios, and then we immediately turned our attention because we had marketing deadlines that we had to make to get marketing advertisements put in all the local, oh boy, this is going to date me, parent magazines and newspapers and those sorts of things. And the same goes true for today. So I make a little bit of a joke about, it being, 20 years ago when we were doing this. Actually, 20 years ago exactly. It was the summer of 2005. We did the first one. I know I'm old, Alyssa. But even if you're not running newspaper ads, you should be planning these marketing campaigns well in advance of April, March, May, even February of each year. You really need to have this all planned out, the ideas planned out that early. Do you have any insight or thoughts on this? Any experience from coaching clients that you want to share?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that starts to affect overall growth and success in the studios that at least I'm seeing, I'm sure in the ones that you're seeing, is that they have a much clearer picture of the whole year in advance. So their planning and execution gets much better, right? And I think that takes reps. I think that takes reps. It's not just like we're all born amazing heads of projects that we can execute on things in the exact amount of time that's needed right away. I think it takes trial by fire experience to actually get better at this and to learn, okay, like if I'm really going to do a good job with this thing, this launch, this offer, whatever we're trying to sell, it's got to be done by this. And then in order to do that, I have to do this, this, and this by these dates. Like this is definitely a practiced skill. And I think that it's not something that we just all know how to do in the best way right away. So I'd say like planning is a skill and it's something that we have to practice. And part of what you're saying is that, yes, we have to accept that even though it's a brilliant idea, at least we think it is, if we're thinking about it 2 months prior, that's probably not enough time to do a good job on it. And so best to just step back and to look at when would it be ideal or optimal to launch so that we can do it the right way and have the right amount of success for the time and energy we're going to put into it.
Yeah, I agree. I have so much to say about this, but I'm going to keep it short to fulfill the promise I made at the beginning of this video. I have clients who in their year-round programs are getting 150 leads a month for their school, and they're still having trouble promoting their summer camp. They already have their marketing wing nailed, dialed. They're just growing very, very well in their year-round program and their traditional lesson structure or group lesson structure, or private lesson, whatever it is. But for the summer camp, they're having slow traction summer to summer. And this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, that it took Greg and I several years to get traction just to even dial in the content so that parents were excited about it and told their friends later, to gain a reputation in the area, to get repeat business. Maybe a parent brings a younger sibling now that they're older and a good candidate for the camp now. Maybe they were 4 when their 7-year-old took it 3 years later. Now their previously 4-year-old is now a 7-year-old, and now they enroll their younger child in. So you start getting those kinds of experiences and you get momentum on the camp year over year. But if you are not super good at marketing, or you don't have a great agency working for you, like, now you're even more behind the 8 ball. So you really need to plan early.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm kind of bleeding into point number 3, but before I go there, did you have anything else to say, Alyssa?
No, it's just like what you're saying is, I think that we as studio owners, we just assume that everything we create is equal and that it's all part of one business. But we need to think about each of the revenue streams that we're trying to offer to sell as separate businesses in their own right. Summer camps are a completely different sales and marketing motion than our core business. And what you were also just saying is so interesting to me, Daniel, that even like studios that are doing really well in the marketing department, getting tons of leads, that even they struggle with filling their summer camps. I don't know about you. It'd be interesting to see if you know of like an average conversion of potentially like internal leads or internal clients, I should say, to summer camp yeses. Do you happen to have that? Or for me, I see about 20% on average of a student's total clients saying yes to summer camps if we do a pretty good job in the marketing department internally. And that's a school that obviously has to have quite a bit of clients, like 100 clients or more. Do you see like a pattern of like schools in terms of what their yeses are? And I think this just goes to show, again, there's a difficulty in filling summer camps, especially if you don't have a ton of clients to pull from. So yeah, do you know of a conversion rate?
The 10 to 20% number is very common.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I experienced different was when in my own personal studio, I had been doing it year after year, and that number creeped up over time.
Yeah, exactly.
So the number of people that participated.
Yeah.
Just because, again, you had internal repeat business. And then I just got better at marketing it externally. What I began to do was bleed together my products, so that for people just contact me for regular lessons, I would bring them in for regular lessons and I would sell them on the thing they wanted to be sold on. Yeah. And then now that they trusted me, I would then heavily market to them while they were at a point of high excitement, having just joined the studio, to join the summer camp. Yeah. So I would do summer camps for people who were already in the studio, and then I would do beginner camps as well. But again, that's a whole nother topic. That's if you're actually going to do one, which is, again, not the point of this video. The point is, don't do summer camp. Okay. Yeah. Reason number 3, see, we can't help ourselves. The hardest income a business will ever make is one-time income. And what I mean by one-time income is a product with a single price point that they pay it and then that's it. It is not a recurring product. They pay $199 or $399 or $699, whatever your summer camp price is, and then that's it. It is not a good strategic use of your time to promote one-off products. And as both Alyssa and I alluded to at the beginning of this video, if you're already in dire straits money-wise because you're losing your studio and you aren't yet accomplished enough as a marketer to fill those spots for the summer in just your regular program, then why in the world would you put all of your time into marketing something that's even harder to sell and only provides you one-time income? Because the thought is, oh, I'll get them in for the summer camp and then they'll stay for lessons in the fall. That isn't always a slam dunk. I know really good studios that only have like a 50 or even 30% conversion rate from the camp to fall lessons.
Yeah.
So it is not a slam dunk. Mine was much higher, but I was doing something different. Like a lot of time, it doesn't even matter. The point is also that your best chance at getting people into the camp is to market internally, and they're already customers. So you're really just selling internally. So the whole thing of like, oh, it'll be a great way to get people in for the fall, I'll get them in during the summer, it just never works out that way. Clients lie to themselves and say that's the reasoning, and then when they realize that's not working, then they just fall back on, well, then let's just get everybody in, and they end up having a summer camp that's full. 80% of their summer camp is students they already had.
You're right. Right. And that goes to say,
go.
I think it goes to prove the point that even though you said regardless of studio size, I would say I actually believe studio size is an extremely important consideration. If I always tell the studios I'm working with sub 100 clients that we should just stay focused on their year-round program. Because the reality is, if we stay focused and we keep dialing in all the pieces of the business for the year-round program, and that base becomes monthly recurring revenue that's substantially higher, let's call it 20% higher, we're now working with 120 or 140 or 160 students that we can internally market to with more ease for the summer camps. And it's the same motion in terms of sales, marketing, and business setup. So we're not overly complicating strategy or structure. I think that it's a really, really important consideration for anyone listening to this who feels stressed out that summer is a terrible time of year. They need to do something to fix that, but they're not working with a crazy large studio. Do not go for summer camps. That is just like don't do it. So, I mean, big schools, maybe you could pull it off. Again, I would not be doing it this year if you're just starting to think about it.
Right.
But like maybe next year, right? And start to plan that this fall. But, and you might have some more luck with that 20% or so conversion rate internally from folks that are already doing business with you. But summer camps, I think, Daniel, just to keep reiterating our point, they should be seen as a separate business that's going to require separate attention, separate resources, and that is going to be different than the way that we're doing things for the core business. And that ultimately we're going to find most success from our already, clients that we're serving. And if we don't have a lot of those to work with, we're not feeling so great in terms of our time, energy, and abilities with marketing, then I'd say bad news. Don't go for summer camps.
Yes. And, Alyssa and I mean, I'll speak for Alyssa. She's really smart and a very good business person. But maybe you don't believe us. Well, let me ask you, do you believe Alex Hormozi? Because Alex Hormozi agrees with us that you should not run a summer camp. I'm going to tell you why. In his book, $100 Million Leads, he has a concept called More, Better, New. And the idea is before you do something new in your business, you need to do more of what's working, then you need to do it better, and only then do you get to do new. And so you would do so much better to optimize the marketing systems you already have, optimize the marketing funnel you already have, optimize the products that you already have for maximum quality, maximum educational efficiency, maximum retention in your studio before you ever dream of doing one-time income programs like a summer camp. Alex Hormozi agrees with me. Done. Mm-hmm. We could end the video right there, but we're not going to do that because I have one more point to make. We've been very negative in this video. I try to be a positive person. Yeah. What should you do instead then? Because summer's coming. And, if you need to save your studio from those down summer months, what should you do? Well, I have good news for you. Because, again, the brainy and brilliant Alyssa here is running a summer workshop on April 11th with not one, not two, but 5 strategies for saving your studio this summer, for having success in your studio, even if you're starting this late. She's got 5 things to teach you to not only give you some hacks and tactics and that sort of thing, which is great, but the thing I love about Alyssa is she always goes beneath that stuff, the bright, shiny objects, to the good business foundations, so that you're actually building your business the correct way, so that you're actually creating long-term sustainable things in your business, and you're understanding why you're doing it. So I will say it once again, April 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be a link below to register. Guess what, everybody? It's free. We love you. We're doing this for free out of the goodness of our hearts. And if it happens to be after April 11th, what I will tell you is that there will be a replay available, and we will change the link in the description below to just being able to go straight to the replay. Do you want to add anything, Alyssa?
No, I hope to see everybody there. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk
Yeah.
about other things besides summer camp being the holy grail of having a good summer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Over the years, we have done a lot of special programs like this. We've done special workshops on marketing. We've done special workshops on AI. We've done, just so many topics that are really hot topics. This is definitely one. We've never done a workshop or a webinar on it. So yes, definitely want to sign up for this. And we might even put it inside the Studio Master community. That's our free community. We might make it available there too, but it'll probably be on YouTube and Facebook as well. But we'll make it very evident. Go sign up below. If you want to be connected to Grow Your Music Studio or Studio Growth Accelerator, which is the coaching program that Alyssa and I are running, you can go to growyourmusicstudio.com. Just opt in anywhere. You'll get our free podcast updates, free resources, free marketing resources. I've literally had people take free marketing resources that we've created and get new students within 24 hours of discovering our site because they enacted some of the things that we just give away for free. Mm-hmm. So go do that. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube and all the great places. But thanks for taking time out, Alyssa. And we hope to see you all at the workshop, or leave a comment below if it's after that, and go watch the replay. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.